Good afternoon. My name is Benjamin Brainard, and I'm conducting an oral history interview with Nathan Brainard of Vault 19 Bakery in Milton Freewater, Oregon. Today's date is April 28th, 2025. Nathan, thank you for coming out and giving us this interview. First question, can you tell me why you wanted to open a bakery in Milton Freewater?
So, Milton Freewater became a town closest to where I purchased the bakery that I bought. So it became, do I keep it where it was, which was very remote, or move it into the local town of Milton Freewater? And so the foot traffic being more in Milton Freewater, it just made sense to move it to this town. It's also less expensive here than the neighboring town of Walla Walla, but for rent as well as utilities.
I see. What type of experiences have prepared you to run this type of business?
Just out of high school, I worked in a catering company. That gave me some kitchen experience, but ultimately it was my business background that said maybe I can open a business, know how to do the accounting and the books and things like that. That really made me say, hey, which kind of business? And of course, the bakery became an option. And so that was the business that I chose.
Okay, that's interesting. Can you tell me why you chose to name your bakery Vault 19?
So in the searching process for a location, we settled on the First National Bank building in Milton Freewater. And in that building is a giant vault, the safe that was part of the bank at that time. Because of that, we thought we'd want to name something similar or incorporating that vault. Then we came up with the number 19 on account that we wanted it to represent the Renaissance, or not the Renaissance, the Roaring Twenties. And so we looked at the Volstead Act of 1919 and said, hey, let's throw them together, Vault 19, and it'll get people to ask us questions about the name.
Okay, so seeing that this bakery was a bank, can you tell me what steps you've taken to establish yourself in this location?
Yeah, so part of the process was really remodeling the old structure. We had to put in the kitchen that we have here, and we had to put in a showroom. And part of that process was taking away a lot of the construction over the 100 years that the building has been in existence back to some of its original stuff. We also had to get the health department or the Department of Agriculture. So we had to complete a lot of requirements, such as putting in a commercial kitchen, and then also making sure we had correct bathrooms and things like that.
Seems like a lot of work. Can you tell me what challenges you faced while opening this bakery?
I'd say the first challenge we really faced was the cost of renovation in combination with the purchasing of the bakery. That was a very big challenge because we weren't going to take out loans. We didn't want to pay interest and then have an ROI that lasted forever. So the second problem was really trying to find the right location. We chose a place that was on Main Street. It's a highway, it's a main corridor, and it has 12,000 vehicles passing by every day. To get the right building and that location meant being patient and undergoing that renovation because there was no specific commercial kitchen available.
So, can you tell me what factors have helped you in opening your business?
Yeah, one thing that did help was I have a background in business, and so I understood the concepts of how to work to get my business license, how to do the research necessary to get the Department of Agriculture license. So having that prior knowledge and experience was very helpful. But in addition to that, I would say we had some benefactors, right? Some people helped us by lending us money without the need to pay it back, so giving us money. So that helped. But then there were a lot of people who came alongside, helped us renovate so we could keep our costs down. And then we had a lot of customers who were just excited, waiting for a bakery to be in Milton Freewater because one didn't really exist prior to us.
I see. Can you tell me about when you first opened your doors, what that experience was like?
It was unique. We didn't have the building quite finished, and we were rushing to open because another business, even though not a bakery, was opening at the same time. We kind of felt they might steal our thunder. So we worked almost endlessly, very little sleep, all the way to the opening day. And I remember the first customer walking through, and I thought to myself, it's going to work. It's really going to work. And it was a delight because after that, customer after customer came in, and we were very happy.
So, Nathan, can you tell me, is there anything you do differently now than when you first started your business?
So when we first started, we didn't know what hours to operate under. And we realized quite quickly that we did not have the ability to get product out to the showroom when we opened too early. So we moved our hours from a 8 a.m. start time over to a 10 a.m. start time. And that gave us 2 more hours where customers could come in, before customers could come in and see nothing on the shelf. Now they could see something on the shelf. We also changed our days. We went from a Tuesday to Saturday and realized Saturday was very slow and we had to be here Monday anyway. So we then moved our days Monday through Friday. And these things we had to adjust because of customer demand.
I see. Can you explain what you use to measure success?
So some might say, well, gross sales is success. And I would say that's a good quantifier for success, truly. But how hard we're working is really the measure of success. Can we produce an income that doesn't make us feel like we don't want to do this anymore? And I would say that's the best way to measure it. Are we capable of still having personal time while also making the money that we normally use as a qualifier for success?
That's very unique. Speaking of unique things, can you tell me what makes your product unique?
Yeah, so first of all, we have the same thing as everyone else does when it comes to a bakery. We have bread, and that bread is used for multiple purposes. But in our particular case, we're careful with the ingredients in the bread. We don't use preservatives. We don't use artificial flavors or colors. And then more importantly, we do have a sourdough that has a 128-year-old sourdough starter. We also ferment that sourdough bread, and so it's become quite popular.
Okay. Now, how do you market your product?
So we're terrible at marketing. But we do try to do word of mouth. Word of mouth is probably the biggest thing. We do make posts on Facebook, and we do go out to farmers markets, and that helps us with the word of mouth. But outside of that, we don't do any external advertising, and we certainly don't have a lot of signage.
I see. Given that word of mouth nature of marketing, what type of impact would you say your bakery has on the local community?
So our bakery is the first established bakery of our style, maybe in the last decade or 2 decades in Milton Freewater. Maybe even longer. I'm not positive, but it's been a long time. That said, because we have a bakery here in Milton Freewater, most everybody now can stay here instead of going to Walla Walla to try to get their fresh bread. It also means that there are more options, where before there was only a supermarket and preservatives and a very specific style of bread. Now we can custom make that bread. So then more people come to us and we get more of the local traffic. And we've noticed a lot of traffic coming from nearby towns of individuals who want our specific bread. So I would say the impact has been probably minor on the larger grocery chains, but very big for the local population.
I see. What would you consider as the most crucial function of your business?
So when it comes to functions, I would think that probably our customer service. We really take a lot of care to make sure our customer service is top notch. We greet every single person the moment they come in the door within 30 seconds. We talk to them, we become personable with them, and we get to know their names. This is a very one-on-one relationship that is vital to our ability to operate in a small community.
I see. Can you tell me, what are some of the economic challenges in Milton Freewater that affect your business?
So there is not a lot of foot traffic. We do not see a lot of people walking down the street and coming into the bakery. That said, there is also an issue where the overall economy, or maybe the overall population wealth-wise, is a little lower. And to make artisan breads, it's a little more expensive. So we don't see maybe the high-end retail operation that you might see in a separate town. The other aspect is that, yeah, we do have weather-related issues. So Milton Freewater can get cold in the winter, and that can cause a lot of icing up of the stairs and maybe the sidewalks. And we do have a little older population of individuals who frequent the bakery, so they're less inclined to do so in the winter.
Okay. Can you tell me, what does the long-term vision for your bakery look like to you?
So it would be nice to offer a few more options in the bakery. We're working on a coffee shop, and we hope to have that open soon. Lots of individuals want to sit down, enjoy cinnamon roll, a scone, maybe some crepes. And so we hope to offer those as a more immediate diner-in kind of approach with coffee and tea. And I think that will help us quite a bit.
That's really amazing. One final question for you. Can you share with me any advice that you would give to a new business owner?
Yeah, I would say the first thing to do is your homework. Make sure that where you're going, people want you there. Build up a little bit of rapport with them. Make sure that when you do go into the location, that there's a customer base that's ready and waiting for you. And then protect that base. Be good to those people. They're your customers and they're your lifeblood.
Well, thank you so much, Nathan, for giving me this time to do this interview. I really appreciate having you. Thank you, and have a great day.